Look, I'm going to be honest, I was very jealous of MrBeast's life at one point. His money, his fame, and how exciting his life looked. If you don't know, he's one of the top YouTubers right now. Maybe your person isn't MrBeast, but I'm guessing you can relate. I felt like I was nothing compared to this guy, and I'd find myself often rejecting my own life, and I just didn't know what to do. But you and I don't have to become the people we want to be in order to feel like we're whole again. It just takes some changes in the way that we're thinking. These days, if I do compare myself to other people, which is far less often, it doesn't affect me anything like it used to, and I can let go of it pretty quickly. I learned this from trial and error and life experience, not some cheap self-help book, so I'm hoping this will help you. This video is going to focus on the idea of teaching ourselves to stop wanting what others have so badly because it's not the Holy Grail we think it is. But first of all, why do we see what other people have as a Holy Grail? Something that would be just amazing if we just had it. That could be material stuff, personality traits, the way that they look, their lifestyle, their fame, money, whatever. I've noticed we tend to see things in relation to ourselves, and if we don't feel like we're good enough, suddenly things other people have which we don't become shiny and desirable. But even if we did get what we wanted, it doesn't mean it will meet our expectations, and we'll talk about why very soon. So other people's lives start looking like the cure for this feeling of not being good enough, and we start to imagine what it's like to be them, and we'll often imagine the best case scenarios for those people, and that leaves us pretty jealous. But our emotions don't allow us to see things for what they are. Their lives very likely aren't as great as we think and are definitely filled with their own unique problems, but we don't account for them. So I find it's less about having what we want and more about compensating for this sense of inadequacy within us. It may or may not be as extreme for you, but that's how it was for me. Luckily, we can prevent feeling inadequate in the first place if we find the reasons why these things aren't that great. Let's say you did get what they have. You'll likely be happy for a while, but then something happens. Reality comes in like a truck, and you realize, damn, I'm still unhappy. I thought this thing was the answer to my problems. I really like this idea of wherever you go, you take yourself with you. Because yeah, you might be in this new place with new stuff, but you still mostly have the same problems you had before, and having this new thing didn't change that. You might feel less inadequate than before, for a while, but things end up feeling pretty similar to how they felt before you had it. It's like we get distracted for a little while, but we can't keep that up forever. I also want to bring in this idea of never being satisfied. What we tend to want in other people are things which don't have a ceiling to them. You can always do one better. You can always be more famous, look better, have more money, and so on. And so you never feel happy with where you are until you realize chasing that stuff has no end. So at some point you have to decide you're happy where you are. And you can do that right now. That's what I did. I don't have a flashy life, but I continue to strive for what I want without expecting it's going to be amazing. And that's what keeps me so grounded. And believe me, it's not a fiction. You can be there too. Another point is that we tend to get used to whatever life we have. Even if it's an incredible life, everything becomes routine and less exciting. Think about all the times in your life when you got something you really wanted. It was great for a while, but then the excitement wore off, and it looked like anything else you have. And it's a good thing to remind yourself that this is true for whatever you get, no matter how glamorous or big these things may be. So I find what we want in other people as an invitation back to ourselves. What is it about what they have that is so glamorous? And can I find evidence of how it's really going to feel if I get it? When you hear this evidence, whether that's maybe someone who's already there talking about their experiences or whatever, it can be a bit of a letdown, but it's a liberation. Keep remembering this evidence when you get caught in your emotions of wanting. Reinforce it over and over, and your perceptions will change over time. It's going to feel weird because it goes against the way that you were thinking before, and so it leaves you in a kind of limbo. But eventually you'll feel happier with what you have, and if you do strive for anything in life, You won't overpromise on what it will deliver. If you have any questions about this video, which I'd love to hear, any thoughts, please let me know. And thank you for watching.
Are you happy?
Well, no, the average person does not want to live the life I live or be in my head. They would be miserable because you're just working all the time, and they would probably just ask themselves, why am I working all the time? Why don't I do literally anything else?